Really excited about this game. Opportunity to be at home again, and really, it's a senior day, so want to send them out with a win, and we're looking forward to the game, but looking also forward to improving and building off of what we did last week. So it was a good game last week. Glad we got the win. I think I spoke about all that Saturday night, so it almost feels like it was not long ago. So, but I'll answer any questions about the game that we just had, but really looking forward to having our last game at LaVell Edwards Stadium. For some of these young men, they'll never be able to play a game in that stadium again. So, just want to make sure that we keep the focus on that and respect our opponents. They're well coached. They've had some tough games, but also they've been competitive. They played Nevada and played competitively in the first half and kept things interesting to the fourth quarter. And then they were hanging in there with Weber as well last week. So I think the most important thing to do in game of football is for us to perform at our best every week, including this week, and then respect our opponents, and looking forward to being on the field with them. So take any questions you guys have.
All right, thanks. We'll start with Jared Lloyd, and then Mitch and Jay Drew.
Kalani, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I was thinking about it over the weekend after the way Virginia played and what you guys needed to do to win the game. You've talked about how you like being aggressive. You like going for it on fourth down. You like having that control and that, kind of pushing the boundaries. Is it hard sometimes to say, hey, we need to drop 8, we need to put the pressure on the back end instead of the front end on defense? I mean, it worked for you. You mentioned that after the game, but is that hard just philosophically wise for you sometimes?
But I don't look at the scheme as of, when I talk about aggressive, it's more mindset. Drop 8's not a popular thing for some people, but it's hard to score on, because but you like that, or you like giving up one play for a touchdown. I mean, that's I would love to blitz every down. That'd be awesome, right? But there's always a payment for things like that, and so I think there's a mixture of both. I think for me, a mindset is to be aggressive, but also to be complementary of our offense, defense, and special teams all working together. I think if you can be complementary, you can win more games, rather than trying to be focused only on your own phases. I think A-Rod's got to worry about the offense. He's got to worry about the defense. Ed's got to worry about special teams. And what Ed and I have to do as head coach and assistant head coach is manage the entire group, all 3 phases together. And I think if we can do that, we'll be fine. And our mindset as a staff is for us to be aggressive. But more importantly is for us to work together and try to find a way to have a success and get a win. That's the goal. So I don't really care about stats except for the win, and then there's a few stats that contribute probably more to the win than others, and those are the ones that we try to work with the most. So
also getting ready for this weekend, the balance between wanting to play your best game. You mentioned after the game last week that going into this week, you want your guys giving it their all, and this is the week before the bye. You want to put it all out there, but at the same time, there's a respect for the game level. How do you balance that as well?
No, I think play your best, and then we'll see what we do as the game goes on. I mean, I think a lot of people know that our style isn't to try to run up the score on people, and we try to secure the win first, and then be respectful of what's going on the field. I mean, that's every week. It doesn't matter if it's Virginia, Utah, or Idaho State. That's what we want to do every week. And some weeks it works better than others. But the focus is to go in this game playing our best guys for 60 minutes. And until we secure the win, that's what our goal is. And I'm expecting our guys to go into this game empty the tank, because we have a bye week next week. And that's the focus. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. I think we've done a pretty good job at being respectful when we've secured wins.
A-Rod earlier just mentioned in the Coordinator's Corner show that Is it something that we're going to miss James MP? Is MP done for the year then?
Well, I think it'll come down to probably he's. I don't know if we can say that yet, Mitch. If that's the deal, if he's done for the year yet, there's still a bowl game in mind. But I know he. You guys saw him in the game sideline. He's on a little scooter thing. So, I don't know. I've seen some comebacks and some guys get healthier than others. So I think he's sitting that window where there's possibly something later down in this year or none at all. So I don't think we can say he's for sure done for the year.
And when you talk about like comebacks, I remember a couple years ago you played guys like Chris Wilcox and Troy Warner in the final 4 games. I know back in spring you'd noted that Micah Harper got an injury, could potentially play. Is there an update there on Micah that he could maybe get some run potentially if the opportunity poses itself?
Yeah, it's just I think his injury comes around that time where we can utilize the 4 games, but at what risk? He's a guy that started for us and has had. I think you kind of put him in harm's way if you do it too early. And so we'll be talking with the sports medicine department, and if you ask Micah, he'd want to be playing right now. But I think we're kind of wait it out a little bit and see how we go and get some expert advice on it and go from there. But the kid's a special player. He's a starter for us, and so we want to make sure that he has a bright future and that we don't try to bring him back too early, even though he wants to play, and even though Coach Guilford, myself, and Ian, Ed want him on the field. I don't know if that's the right thing yet. So we're still figuring that out.
Kalani, you've only got 3 seniors on your roster. It's kind of hard to figure out which guys will be back and what won't. What has your philosophy been? Are you welcoming all the guys back because they can use the COVID year and come back, or just how are you approaching that and handling that?
Yeah, that's a little different because the COVID year allows many of these guys to come back and play again next year. There's some guys that are looking to just be done and move on with life, and then there's other guys that are still figuring it out. So a lot of the guys graduate, this December and want to move on. But I think we're and then there's some that are just still deciding what to do. I think for us, we'll just probably just give them all a good goodbye just in case, and then hopefully they come back. So there'll be more than the 3 guys that'll be recognized. Everyone else other than the 3 are welcome to come back, obviously, and we'll be discussing what's the best thing for them. But I think what we don't want to do is, because the last game comes in week 9 for us, we don't want to all of a sudden they make a decision after week 11 that they're done and they want to move on, and that we never gave them the proper send-off. You know what I mean? So we'll probably give them a good send-off and just in case, and then try to recruit them back to come back again. Does that answer it, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about Jaron Hall, how well he's playing. You mentioned he's finally healthy. He's been overshadowed a little bit by Tyler's just phenomenal playing. What can you say about Jaron Hall and just where he's at right now and hitting his stride really as a top-notch quarterback?
Yeah, you mean a running back's getting more attention than a quarterback at BYU? When did we ever think we'd see that? But Jaron's done a great job. He's humble. He doesn't need attention. He'll get it, and he's had it. But I've been really, really pleased with the way that he has handled himself on the field and the decision making that he's had. I mean, it's hard to manage that offense, and he puts us in a great spot, makes the right calls, and he works really well with A-Rod and Fessy and that staff getting the offense set. And then he also has had the we had to trust him with his health and deciding what was the right thing to do with his legs and being able to run, and I said he's feeling really, really good now. Last week was where he's close to 100%, and he can do a lot of things. He can create more space and create more time for him to throw the ball, and he did a good job. I thought no turnovers. That's a good sign for us too. And so that comes a young quarterback not taking too many chances. I think there are some throws that I know he wished he had back, but man, he was on point, and and we kind of made things really difficult for him because we gave him the responsibility of being smart with his own health, but then also knowing that Baylor's not 100% cleared yet, and there's nothing against Jacob Conover. We feel good about him too, but we needed to be smart with our offense, and we've had a lot of guys that have been banged up. That if you look at it, we were missing 2 starters on O-line this game, and I don't think people give a lot of those other guys, Connor and Campbell, stepping in and filling in. They did a great job. So we've had to play with some depth, and Jaren's done a good job at putting all those guys in the right spots. Gunnar didn't play, and so you saw a little bit more of Keanu Hill and others, and we have some good depth and some good coaches, and it happens to have a bunch of good quarterbacks too, and Jaren's doing a great job.
Jake?
Yeah, Kalani, building off that just a little bit, I wanted to ask you, in terms of Jaren and his running ability, how much more dangerous does that make your offense when he is able to run it? As you said, you didn't clear him earlier, but once he is cleared and he's able to go, how much more open is your offense with him running it?
Well, it's just you look at football. Look what Brandon Armstrong did to us. When we were playing man coverage and he took off. He scored on a run and scrambled and created some space, and it stresses your coverage a little bit more. And so, I think anytime a quarterback can create more time and space to throw the ball is very dangerous. But also, anytime he can be a threat to run will cause problems. And all our quarterbacks can run now. Don't get me wrong. Baylor and Jacob can run too. So don't think that those guys aren't athletic. They're just an all athletic group, and we feel good. That's part of our game plan. We feel good about all of them being able to run the ball. They have to in this day and age.
I also wanted to ask you, the tight end position last year was so prolific, in particular Isaac Rex, the 12 touchdowns, what he was doing towards the tail end of last year. His production has gone down this year. Are you worried about that in any way, or is he contributing in other ways?
No, he's contributing in other ways, and then blocking and also running routes. He's still a target for us in a lot of different. All the tight ends. I think what he and Dallin and Mason do for our tight end group, they do so many things. If you're just going off of catches, then when a guy catches that many touchdowns last year, it's not like he's a secret anymore. So we like throwing to our receivers and our tight ends and our backs, and teams are starting to cover them. But I think he had some opportunities in this last game and then just couldn't connect on some of the throws. But he's always a threat. He and Dallin and Mason, they pose crazy threats to defense because they can block and they're physical, but at the same time they have soft hands and do well in space on the routes. And so that's we just keep asking them to just keep fulfilling their role, and then the plays will come. Guys will make plays, and depending on the matchup and what Jaren sees out there, he'll throw the ball to the guy that's open, go through his progression.
Okay, let's. We got a question from Jackson Payne. Go ahead, Jackson.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, both Nakuas and Neal started at receiver against UVA, and it's unconfirmed, but it's possible that that's the first time 3 Polynesian receivers have started in a college game. Just tell us about how you feel about that, and especially just with what the Nakuas did against UVA and having them in the program and just the impact that they had.
I didn't even think about that. You said that they're the first. Did you say they're the first starters that were Polynesian that played receiver?
Yeah, somebody. There's been some rumblings on Twitter. It's the first time that 3 Polynesian receivers started the same game together.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that. I can't. But Isaac Rex is Polynesian too, so I don't know. I can't confirm all that. They just happen to be Polynesian. I really that didn't factor into my mind. I just want guys that can catch the ball, that can block, and can that do everything, do their role the right way. So pretty cool. I don't know. I don't look into those things. I just want to play the right guys. They just have, and in terms of Nakua's, I love having them on the team. I love everybody on this team. These guys all bring something unique. Samson's been a pleasure to coach. He's just so much energy, and it's contagious. And he just happened to walk in just now. So just bragging about how much I love you, man, how awesome you are. So, yeah. No, but those guys have been awesome. They can play football, you know. But it's just good having them here. And I think I mentioned it in the press conference last week that Samson hasn't been 100% healthy, but you could never tell by his approach to every game, his energy and how much just the positivity that comes from him, whether he's playing or not in that game. It's something that's unique, and our players are feeding off of that, and they're becoming more like that. And so that way he's been such a great leader and example to our team. And so I love having him here, and he and Puka are doing amazing things together, and Puka's the same way. Those guys just have always smiling. The best part of their day, you feel like, is when they're with you here in the facility at practice. I think they just carry themselves in such a positive, optimistic manner. That fits right in with what I want for this team. So it's a great thing to have.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, guys. Thank you. Stay safe.
Appreciate your time.
Before you leave, Coach, I just wanted to say thank you for the last 2 years.
No, you're leaving us. Yeah, I saw that. Someone told me that you're going to be done. I just want to tell you thank you so much. You going to be at the game then?
Yes, the last game.
Okay, you owe me a hug. Just want to thank you for everything that you've done for BYU football and for me. I appreciate you. I wish you the best. If you need anything, let me know.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me 2 fun seasons to cover. I'm not counting 2019. 2019 was like.
You just cover us just for fun next year too, if you want.
So much work. I want weekends off.
Weekends off? Well, there's a conflict of interest there. But if you need anything from me, let me know. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Norma.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.